We were talking about slope and writing and graphing linear functions, and we want to find the slope of a line given a graph or 2 points on a line. And so here we have an example of parallel lines and perpendicular lines, and we want to explore what that means for their slope. So in this case, first thing we have to do is we have to show what the slope is. So we can show the slope by making our right triangle and showing that this is a positive 2 in the y direction, and this is a positive 3 in the x direction. So that's one slope there, and we find out that our slope in this case is equal to 2 over 3. And then we can look at our other line, and we want to do a similar thing where we calculate the slope. So again, we look at our y value, and we make that right triangle to connect 2 points on the line. And we see that that's 2 in the y direction, still positive. And that's 3 in the x direction. So our slope in this case, m is equal to 2 over 3. So parallel lines have the same slope. So in this case, these lines are parallel and they will never intersect. The next one we have example of perpendicular lines, and we want to do the same thing. We want to identify the slopes. So here we're going to draw our right triangle, and we still have for this one positive 2, and in the x direction we have positive 3. So the slope in this case, that is still equal to 2 over 3. Now we can look at the slope of the other line. And in this one, in this case, instead of going up, like this one we went to the right and up 2, here we're going down 3, so that's going to be a negative 3. And we're going to the right, still going positive, so in this direction, still positive 2. So our slope for this line is equal to negative 3 over 2. So if we look at these two slopes for this one, these are opposite reciprocal slopes. So they're opposite because we have a positive and a negative. So that's for the opposite. And then reciprocals mean that we flip our fraction. So 2/3 becomes 3/2. So opposite means change the sign. And reciprocal means flip the fraction. So if you ever stub your toe on an end table and sometimes you say a bad word, where you say stupid end table, well, we can kind of consider anytime we see the word perpendicular, that it's going to be a bad word. So perpendicular is kind of like stubbing your toe on an end table. You'll stub your toe and then you'll hit like a pillow and say, stupid end table. Well, in this case, we're going to say, anytime we see perpendicular, we should think flippin' change. So we can think of perpendicular as kind of a bad word, right? Flippin' change. So anytime we see perpendicular, we think we stubbed our toe. Flippin' change. So we'll flip the fraction, so 2/3 becomes 3/2, and we'll change the sign.